there it is. Jack Kingsbury on pole position. Jason Pelosi in the sort of very dark purple car alongside him. 15-minute race about to get underway. Red lights go on. And revs rise, out they go, and it's not a good start by Jason Pelosi. As we thought, the drivers on the left-hand side of the circuit, right-hand side as we see it, have generally speaking made a better start, and it's Jack Kingsbury then that gets ahead of Scott Edgar and Jason Pelosi as they go down into the first turn at Abbey. That's the right-hander, and they swing through the left-hander at Farm and head down towards the hairpin at Village for the first time. These two slightly ahead of the rest. So it's number 3, Jack Kingsbury, the triple Donington Park winner, that leads the way at the moment. Then from in second place, Scott Edgar, and Jason Pelosi, despite starting on the wet side of the track, he's swung on to third.
Yes, he has. He managed to sort of bustle up into Abbey Corner, which is a pretty quick turn, and at least not sacrifice another place. But it's Kingsbury who leads the way from Edgar, the white car behind the grey. And then Pelosi in third, then the kind of Leighton House car, which is number 11, chasing on, which is Jack Twain.
And Jack Twain, the man that's level on points at the top of the championship with Jack Kingsbury, with a bit of work to do then to try and get on terms with Kingsbury in this race, because already he's with Scott Edgar breaking a little bit clear. Twain
up the inside into Vale, grabs third place in the bright green car. So it's, in fact, he doesn't. He got it coming in, then must have scrabbled wide and lost the place again. But he certainly got. He certainly up a place through there. Here comes the rest of the field, and as they move into Abbey for the second time, there's Jason Pelosi in the car, which actually is a kind of purple colour, isn't it? It looks black from a distance, but it's a purple colour with those vivid day-glow flashes. He runs in third, and Dwayne's losing out on the inside there. Is that Richardson? I think in
Richardson,
7, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Stephen Richardson managed to get back up the inside, I think, and Dwayne there rides the curves quite heavily. He's back ahead of Richardson now, so a good scrap going on between these two.
They're delaying each other though, aren't they?
They are. It's not helping Dwayne get on terms with Kingsbury. Dwayne appeared, I think, for the first time at the end of last season. I think it was the December meeting we had at Donington Park, which was another rearranged event due to COVID. That was his first appearance in the Clios. That was a pretty strong showing then, and he's back for a full-time tilt at the championship this year, but he needs to sort of get away from this battle with Richardson.
Yeah, exactly, and I think Dwayne is now moving away from Richardson. He's got Christopher Keir behind him in 22, and he comes down into that very, very tight left-hander, through which you can build the speed if you get your line right and don't go too wide out over those curbs to maximise your velocity through Club Corner and over the timing line.
Lap 2 completed then, and it's a 9/10 of a second lead for Jack Kingsbury over Scott Edgar. Just about a second back to Jason Pelosi in third, but Dwayne in fourth has got a second and a half very nearly to make up on Pelosi, the third place man. There is the 22 car of Christopher Keir, and he was 6th in the championship coming into this weekend. Ross Bormann in the 66 car there. He at the moment is running in 8th place, just behind Chris Lawrence. Bormann, who raced regularly, then took a bit of a breakaway and has come back into the championship.
Yeah, it's quite compelling, isn't it? These drivers have missed it when they've gone away, but it's good that we're going to have a new champion this year. Kingsbury's been there and thereabouts, hasn't he, for a long time, as a race winner in the past.
Yes, he has. He's won races over the past 2 or 3 seasons before this, but I think this is really his first full-on attack on the championship. That's the 13 car of Josh Larkin, isn't it, that we can see. Now, he's obviously dropped back down the order in the first couple of laps, because I'm trying to see where he was. He might have been 21st, I think, at the end of lap 2 by the looks of the timing screens.
It's a sister car to Pelosi's, isn't it, in colour, in terms of colour scheme?
That's right. So there is Dwayne and Richardson going through. It's the 66th car of Bormann, then we pick up in 7th place, and it's really a forced car spot. It's actually Larkin. Now, that's interesting. Larkin's transponder can't be working because he's not showing up on the timing screen at all as they come through as being part of that battle.
Also found no grip when he turned into Abbey. The car suddenly sort of lurched into an understeery slide, but got it back. after a trip over the curbs.
By my rating, Larkin is 11th on the road, but as I say, not showing on the timing screens, and that must be because his transponder is either not there or not working. And so we'll see whether he actually gets included in the results of the race or not as a result of that. There's one going slow. That's the Lawrence car that's lost a place coming out of the link, the yellow car at the back of that group.
It's kind of Works Renault BTCC colours of yore, isn't it?
It is. 56
car, isn't it? Chris Lawrence.
So heading down the slight slope into the Vale and then Club Corner. Looks like that's Andrew Harding there in the 9th place car now. Well, he looks at 8th in fact, with Chris Lawrence having fallen back. There's Larkin, still struggling to find the grip, but that dry line just looks to be getting ever slightly wider.
Yes, as they explore it, it will, and you can see there the angle of turn into Abbey Corner. It's tighter than it looks, but it's very quick. Because there's a reasonable amount of room on the exit if you get the line right, but you have to start right over on the outside of the circuit to cut into that apex and try to reduce your input on the steering to stop the lateral loads building on the car.
Last time round, Jason Pelosi, who we could see on screen there, did his personal best lap of 1:20.74, so he's right on terms with Scott Edgar now. This is the battle further down the order, and that is John Lovell in the 42 car now with number 30. With number 30 I should say, Darren Ransom. There's Darren's car, and that's the battle for second place turning through Stoke Corner, and Pelosi now has got right on terms with Edgar and will be almost overlapping I think as they head down towards the Vale and Club Corner.
Yep, sweeps out wide. He wants to try and get that cut back through the apex. Edgar's kind of see the roll on it as it goes through, and he's right up on the back bumper now is Jason Pelosi. Is he going to be close enough to have a go into Abbey? I suspect not. It's not really an overtaking manoeuvre unless you've got a big run on your rival. And again, the car understeers through there, and he's dropped back a few lengths as a result of that, but he might regain it under braking for Village, which is the next tight right-hander here, which takes him up into the loop, which is a sort of a borrowing kind of right, left, right, out onto the hangar straight. And of course, the exit speed from this link is very, very important, because this is the big overtaking manoeuvre of the lap, down the long hangar straight into Stoke Corner.
Yeah, and you've got Pelosi right in the toe of Edgar there. Then just behind, you've got the turquoise livery of Dwayne, but here comes Pelosi trying to go around the outside, but it looks like Scott Edgar's cut that move off. Can Pelosi get the cut back here down the inside on the exit of the corner? No, he can't quite make that work. Just looking, is Dwayne closing in on them? He took out a couple of tenths on the previous lap. We might get a three-car battle for second place before much longer, but Jack Kingsbury's more than 3 seconds to the good now. These two clearly slowing each other up, and so far Pelosi's not been able to make it through, and I think just on that damp piece of tarmac it's just that much more difficult.
Yeah, using plenty of track and a tad more over the curbs here, because the green car of Jack Dwayne, number 11 behind, has made a little bit of ground to the eye. He was quicker than those ahead of him, the two ahead of him last time round, but he remains about a second shy of the pair.
He does indeed, so they're turning their way out of Village towards the link for the 7th time already in this race. We've only got about 6 minutes of it left to go. Best lap of the race so far has gone to the race leader Jack Kingsbury, a 1:20.41, and the lap record for these cars is 1:20.60, so he's already gone underneath the lap record, which was previously held by Patrick Fletcher, the 3-time K-TEC Racing Clio 182 champion. But here we are for second place, and it's well, no, I thought Pelosi was going to have another attack there into Stowe, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, Kingsbury clearly on it, because the circuit cannot be at its absolute best. Having said that, it's quite damp in the air, which is good for the engines, and that will help them develop their maximum power. But it's very close, and it's going to be 3 for that second place before too long if this Edgar and Pelosi tussle continues.
Up and over the line they come to complete lap number 7. They're now 5.5 seconds behind Edgar, but only 2/10 between the two of these.
Yes, that's right. And Edgar, who's again back in the 20s, he's quicker than anyone by a second pretty much. And it's reflected in this 5.6 second advantage is up front.
Just looking a bit further back down there, I don't think we've had too much in the way of changes inside the top 10 at the moment.
This is an opportunity for Pelosi. He's up alongside, and there could be a cumulative tow for Jack Dwayne from the two cars ahead of him. Pelosi has his front bumper ahead, if nothing else, as they come down to the braking area for Stowe. And look at Dwayne menacing in the background in number 11. He turns in really quite aggressively into Stowe. Now he's with them and wants to stay right where he is for the time being, because this probably isn't quite an opportunity for him to make a place, but he can easily throw away those yards he's gained.
Yep, Pelosi up to second though, ahead of Edgar and all of that down at Stowe. Dwayne unable to follow through, but he did take out 3/10 or so on the previous lap. Then he's got into the tow, and he has, as we've thought, made it a three-way battle for second place here. So Kingsbury leading by 7.25 seconds now. He's just pulling it out another sort of 3/4 of a second or so every lap at the moment. Then you've got Pelosi in number 14, Edgar 21, Dwayne there in the 11th car. Then it's another second and a half back to Stephen Richardson in 5th, Christopher Keir about 8 tenths behind him.
Edgar's back up the inside of Pelosi, who got into the 20s last time round, and if he's not careful, he's going to lose that place again, maybe on the hanger straight down towards Stowe. But Dwayne now is also taking the attention of Scott Edgar in 21.
Yeah, Dwayne desperate to get as many points as he can out of this, because if it stays this way, Kingsbury will go into the lead of the championship on his own. It was 154 points apiece coming into this weekend, and Dwayne has made up a place on Edgar there by the looks of it.
He's got to be brave though, because he's not, bumper is not ahead. Oh, and a real moment there, because into the braking area you saw the grip unlock from Edgar's car. He's trying to hook back to the inside going through Stowe down to the Vale.
But it looks like he has indeed lost third place. He's trying to fight back down into the Vale though. He's got to... Oh, and we've seen that's happened so often. A car get up on two wheels there. Sometimes they go over. That's allowed Edgar to go back through as Dwayne rode the curb there. And behind him, it's Stephen Richardson and Christopher Keir in the 7 and 22 cars that are pretty much side by side as they come over the line as well. So that's given Jason Pelosi in second place a bit of a break now. There's Edgar in third, but the side-by-side battle for 5th position. And we do have a change, because into Abbey Curve on lap number 10, it's Chris Keir that's gone through, number 22 ahead of Stephen Richardson.
Yeah, so Keir in 22 ahead of 7, Richardson. We are into the last couple of minutes or so of this entertaining race. They've done 9 laps so far. It's going to go 11, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the looks of things. Onto the hanger straight they come again. Kingsbury down into the 20s. 20.41, 20.81, 20.7. I think he went as well at one point. He's really been the class of the field, but behind him, sort of 7.5, nearly 8 seconds behind, Pelosi, Edwards and Dwayne, not much between them. Here comes 7 back past 22, and Richardson and Keir continuing to have their battle. Richardson prevailing.
For the moment, I'm just wondering as well if a bit further Scott Edgar's going to be able to get back on terms with Jason Pelosi. He's 1.6 seconds behind at the start of the lap. We'll keep an eye on that gap as they come over the line to complete lap 10.
Keir in the podium car was very hot into the corner at the end of Vale, but he hasn't thrown away too many yards out of all that.
Edgar's taken 0.3 of a second out of Pelosi that time to get the gap down to around about 1.3. As they probably, though, are now going on to their final lap, I would think. I didn't see if the last lap board was out or not, but certainly we're into the closing stage of this race. This is going to change again, the battle for 5th.
Yes, Keir back in front of Richardson at Village, up into and run the outside through the link. They change again. This is very entertaining, and you see they slide most beautifully through the apex, and now 22 on the inside coming down towards Stowe. 3 ahead of them in line astern in the order of Pelosi in 14, Edgar in 21, and Dwayne in that green-nosed car behind him. But it is 22 who is on the inside, but carrying more speed on the outside is 7, and that's Richardson, and Harding in 77 is on their tail as well in the blue car.
Yeah, I think in actual fact the last lap board is about to go out to Jack Kingsbury. Yes, it is. As meanwhile the battle for 5th rages on. They're bringing Andrew Harding into this as well. It's Kiev in the podium car that goes back through on the inside there, and Harding pounces and he gets through as well. He goes up into 6th place at the expense of Richardson, who loses 2 places within a corner as these cars are now going on to their final lap as well.
Yeah, this is going to go all the way, isn't it? 77's done really well out of this, Andrew Harding, and he's got the place into Abbey and not washed out, which is useful. They've got the left-hand kink at Farm, flat out, but is he going to leave the door open going into Village? Because 22, Kier isn't quite close enough, but does 77 know that he doesn't want to be leading this group onto the Hangar Straight? He's trying to make that little bit of daylight, which will probably make him safe going down into Stowian.
Yeah, meanwhile there's Jason Pelosi, our 2nd place man. He's 8.5 seconds behind the leader, Jack Kingsbury, who'll be coming up towards the checkered flag. He is heading down towards the Vale and Club now, so he'll be about to take the checkered flag. I don't think we're going to see any more changes elsewhere in the top 6 or 7 places either. They've all managed to spread themselves out, but coming through the final corner about to take the checkered flag then is going to be Jack Kingsbury. Just some back markers coming through ahead. Here is Kingsbury though, car number 3, and he takes the checkered flag and wins the first of the day's races here at Silverstone. It's round 6 of the 2021 K-TEC Racing Clio 182 Championship, and that makes it 4 wins on the bounce for Jack Kingsbury. A dominant win as well by almost 10 seconds from Jason Pelosi, number 14, and 21, Scott Edgar. That entertaining scrap for 5th place resolves itself in favour of Andrew Harding, who only emerged in that battle a lap and a half from the end, number 77, ahead of 22 and 7, Christopher Keir and Stephen Richardson. And checkered flag going out for the rest of them, Ross Bormann, Jason Powell and Justin Griffiths rounding out the top 10. Yeah,
7, Stephen Richardson lost out in those last 2 laps. He'd done most of the work to stay ahead of the other pair for the majority of the race, but got outfoxed towards the end. Such was the intensity of their 3-way struggle.
I think the only one that we lost during the course of that race was Christopher Noah. He managed to complete just 3 laps, but generally speaking a relatively incident-free race and a race of little attrition.
Yeah, and Greg Hill up to 12th in that race over the course of it.
Yeah, there is Jack Kingsbury though. He is our first winner of the day. 8 races we've got for you today here at Silverstone, and he's pleased with that, pumping his fists as he goes around on the slowing down lap.
He'll be rather pleased with the lap record as well, won't he?
Yeah, 1:20.41, takes a couple of tenths off the previous mark set by Patrick Fletcher. Final cars just take the checkered flag. Looks like the last one to do so is the number 80 car. Oh no, so Christopher Noah was that last car. He must have got back out again towards the end of the race.
Only 3 in the 20s. Kingsbury 1:20.41, Pelosi 1:20.74, and Richardson 1:20.91 down in 7th place.
There's the confirmation of the results then. Jack Kingsbury taking the win. 12 laps completed, and in those 12 laps he reeled out more than, or almost 10 seconds over Jason Pelosi. So number 3 the winner from 14 Pelosi, 21 Scott Edgar 3rd, then 11 Jack Dwayne in 4th place, the joint championship leader coming into this event. 77 Andrew Harding made up 2 places in the final couple of laps to get 5th. Chris Keir, number 22, was 6th, and Stephen Richardson 7th, number 7, 8th, number 66, Ross Bormann. Jason Powell, number 23, was 9th, and Justin Griffiths rounds out the top 10 in car 55. As Marcus mentioned, Greg Hill, son of Mick, managed to make it up to 12th position in car number 12. Gareth Tansey was 13th, James Hayden 14th. John Lovell, he had an encouraging race to take 16th position. And just looking at the final few finishers on the next screen, Neil Heath, I thought that he might make some progress, and he didn't. So possibly some issues with his car this weekend. So that's Neil Heath, who finished 22nd. But down in the pit lane, I can see that already we have Jack Kingsbury with a garland around his neck. He's taken it off now to make me look like a fool as I hand you down to Josh Barrett in the pit lane for the first time today.
Yeah, thanks Ian. With Jack again. It's been a while since Donington Park where you took your victories, but you've carried on in the same guise as, what, about 3 months ago?
Yeah, that's what I say, don't they? Starters mean to go on. Hopefully we can do the same again here, like we've done at Donny. was a great race. I thought Scott was going to put more of a battle up, but I think he then got stuck in a fight with Jason, which basically gave me a track to myself. So, but no, it was a good race. The car performed well, and yeah.
Nice big gap you managed to pull out, which I guess when you just drive your own line, what are the conditions like out there?
The conditions were dry. It was full dry setup out there. A bit of rain come down, but it was nothing that changed the lap times or anything. Yeah, the gap was nice, but like I said, when there's a battle going on, you're in your own world. You're just putting your laps in consistent.
Well done and good luck later on.
Thank you.
In second place was Jason Pelosi. Jason, first podium of the year on your return, well done.
Yeah, so yeah, pleased with that. Yeah, so finally got the car set up, I feel comfortable in it. Yeah, really good. So don't think we was keeping up with Jack, but had a good little race with Scott, Edgar, so enjoyed that. And yeah, he got past me on the start, but obviously then made it back during the race. So yeah, all round all good.
So obviously you had to start on the damp side of the track, which hurt you a bit, I think.
Yeah, I didn't really get a great start, had a little bit of wheel spin, and to be fair, where I'm so tall I couldn't actually see the lights. So that's something I'm going to have to look at, I think. But yeah, it was a really good race, nice close race with Scott, but you know, no contact as it should be, so I'm really happy with that.
You enjoyed coming back this season?
Yeah, it was had a little bit of a rough time at Donington. Obviously, the car ended up on its roof, and I was doing well in that race, but yeah, nice to get the car back together and manage to repair it all. And yeah, I'm enjoying it now. Obviously, once I get up there on a podium, I'm happy.
Well done on your second place. Then in third place was Scott Edgar. And Scott, you were well and truly involved in those battles as well.
It's been nice to be up the front again, yeah, after the first 2 rounds we've had, so yeah, it's good.
You've had a big gap from Donington to here, so have you worked on the car to help that?
Yeah, we've done loads, to be honest, because it wasn't very good, as you can see by the results. So yeah, we've done loads and loads, and it's paid off. So.
And you had a good battle with Jack when he tried to get past you, then you seemed to get back underneath him.
Yeah, I think the only reason we were back is because me and Jason were battling, and it drew him in. But yeah, it was all right. 2 corners, and we've done the job. So.
And now looking forward to the race later on?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully the conditions stay one way or the other, because that hurt us then. We went a little bit in between, and it hurt us after a lap 3. So. Yeah.
Well, better luck later on. So that's our top 3 from the K-TEC Racing Clio 182 Championship. And next up is the Toyota Tyres Toyota Mar 2 Championship.